Hey there everybody, hope your day's doing well. Jacared Old School Gaming here, and welcome back to another Wild Wednesday. So I've kind of passed this one a few times, but I am a little curious. Like, what, the Pokemon Theory, how to join the Elite Four, from ProtoMario of course, and I don't know, like, would it have to be something to do with like a champion, or like being the champion? I don't know. Oh, that's not my hair. That's a string from the hat. I'll tuck that in. In the meantime, honestly, I would think it would have something to do with like either like being the Pokemon champion, or like maybe being an apprentice of someone who is one of the Elite Four, and then like essentially you're going to succeed that person once they retire. Because I do know in 2nd Gen the Elite Four has completely changed. And hell, even some of the gem leaders have changed too. So, yeah. The Kanto gem leaders, they've changed. And obviously the Johto gem leaders are all different, but yeah. And anyway, I before I start rambling, before I get any more into like my my own theories or whatever, let's get into ProtoMario's video.
Hello and welcome back, YouTubers, to another episode of Pokemon Theories. I'm your host, ProtoMario, and this is the show where we discuss theories ranging from Red being a ghost to why the heck Jinx looks the way she does. Hello and welcome back, YouTubers. I'm ProtoMario, and today's Pokemon theory is: how does one join the Elite Four? Now, this theory itself has absolutely no evidence whatsoever within the game to show enough facts to back up how someone actually came to join the Elite Four.
Yes, that is true. I mean, it's essentially just, hey, the Elite Four is the ultimate challenge for any trainer. So, and yeah, it's just kind of, they are there. And hell, you start as a 10-year-old kid. I would assume that the Elite Four are all adults. So it's more just a, oh, hey, that's the ultimate challenge. And hell, like I said, maybe, before, actually, instead of going over what I said, I kind of wonder if the manga has any information about that was not in the games, or maybe, and hell, the anime doesn't really even talk about the Elite Four. I mean, yeah, because there was, Bruno caught a giant Onyx, and then in the Orange Islands, there was a Lorelei, and then, yeah, didn't Lance catch the red Gyarados somewhere in Johto? I think, I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering that rightly. And then Agatha, I do not remember Agatha at all in the anime, or hell, maybe I have yet to actually see Agatha somewhere in there. But yeah, that's kind of that would be my question. Does the manga have anything to say about, not just about the Elite Four, but how they became the Elite Four? Interesting thought, at least.
So, firstly, let's identify what the Elite Four is. Regardless of whichever game you play, there are 4 trainers that seem to be the toughest trainers in all the land. Now, that statement being said may or may not be true, because if you really think about it, Pokemon trainers like Giovanni had high-level Pokemon that were pretty strong, considering all things, and he may or may not have been able to take down the Elite Four himself.
That is true, but also keep in mind, Giovanni was running a criminal enterprise, and essentially any criminal doesn't want to broadcast what they're doing, unless you're on social media, in which case people confess to literal felonies on a daily basis. Yeah, but regardless, a smart criminal, I should say, a smart criminal isn't going to broadcast what they're doing. Giovanni is essentially working underground, hell, it was in Vermilion City, someone was trying to send a message to someone in Saffron because they couldn't get a hold of them, and they're just, hey, my friend lives in Saffron and I'm worried about them. And so once you eventually get it to Saffron, you find out that, oh hey, the essentially what it was Silphco that was taken over by Team Rocket. I mean, and initially there's the game corner, then you got the Silphscope, was able to get to Lavender Town, or a Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town, and then go to it's kind of optional to go to Saffron City immediately, because like the way the badges are numbered in on the player screen, it kind of suggests, oh hey, go down to Fuchsia City first, then come back to Saffron, then go to Cinnabar. Essentially, once you clear Lavender Town of Rocket, then you can go into Saffron. Yeah, almost forgot the name again. You can go into Saffron City, and then essentially clear out Team Rocket and stop Giovanni again. And then you don't see him again until the end. Yeah, the end of getting all the badges at the Viridian City gym, and hey, he essentially has a cover as a gym leader, and like the whole being criminal thing is, not kind of, it's supposed to be a secret. I mean, obviously the player going through kind of accidentally finds themselves in the midst of it, and then ends up stopping Giovanni. And as such, the main point I'm getting to here is that Giovanni would not be going after the Elite Four, because he knows how powerful they are, and he also knows that, hey, if they all four teamed up against me at once, I would not stand a chance. And yeah, because, the trainers that go through the gauntlet of the Elite Four, it's not that they are trying to stop the trainer. They are testing the trainers to see, hey, are you worthy to get this far? If so, congratulations. If not, well, we're going to have to turn you away. It's a test, not a punishment. It's just, hey, if you can defeat all four of us, then you're a Pokemon champion. Well, except in the case of the player, then it's like, oh, hey, you are a Pokemon champion. Or rather, you could be, because there's someone else just beat us. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a messed up thing to do, but... and anyway, that's my point. Giovanni doesn't want to go after the Elite Four, because he does know how powerful they are, and he knows if they all ganged up on him at once, he wouldn't stand a chance. So, yeah, and anyway, I believe that's significantly off topic from talking about how to join the Elite Four. So let's get into that.
So, having said that, the Elite Four themselves are the most elite trainers, or considered the most elite trainers, having the most powerful of a certain type for each trainer, respectively. Now, the Elite Four I'm sort of addressing and leaning towards is just the red and blue and yellow versions, Heart Gold and Soul Silver versions if you really want to, but, Gold, Silver, Crystal. The main ones are red and blue, just to keep congruity here, keep it all straight. So,
okay, so this theory is essentially just sticking to first-gen Pokemon. Okay, that's definitely something I know plenty of. I mean, well, second gen, I'm still grinding away on Pokemon Crystal to get everyone up to level 22. Then I can finally take on Ilex Forest, get up to Goldenrod, then gonna have to take a Sunday off so that way I can complete everything I would want to complete with the catching montage before heading up Whitney's gym. yeah, that's it's gonna be something.
First, Lorelei is the ice trainer of the Elite Four, even though she has 2 psychic types and one of which is not even an ice type. Each one of the Elite Fours, if I do recall correctly, have a type that are not really even of their speciality.
Yes, that is true, but also keep in mind it's a test. It's just, oh hey, I mean, hell, doesn't or it has been so damn long. Okay, the guy that goes around or that is around like every gym, well, except for Celadon, because he's in the game corner. Well, he essentially gives advice on what the gym leaders' specialties are, and generally the other trainers in there are also leaning into the same kind of specialty. Like, look at Brock, it's ground type. With Misty, it's water type. With Lieutenant Surge, it's electric type. So on and so forth. And I don't remember if he says anything about the Elite Four other than just this is the ultimate test. But I'm pretty sure that, anyone could do some research and say, oh, hey, Lorelei specializes in ice. Agatha specializes in, ghost types. Well, and then everyone would know ghost and poison. Then, Bruno. That's his name. Yeah, Bruno specializes in rock and ground type, and fighting. But yeah, he's like the rock master essentially, and then Lance specializes in dragon types, and pretty much I don't know if there's any like in-game kind of sign or information about what each of the Elite Four's specialty is. But anyone can do research and find out what those specialties are, and then be prepared for them. But then all of a sudden, like with Lance throwing out an Aerodactyl, that's not a dragon type. I mean, given that it is flying and rock, it can still be hit very heavily by any ice type moves, just like all the dragons would be hit heavy by ice type moves. But it's just, oh hey, what the ever living hell? Like, I thought you were specializing in dragons. That's not a dragon. Like, I think you talked about that in one of your theories. Maybe I think I kind of came to the same conclusion there, that it's not that, oh hey, this is the only specialty, this is all that this trainer, all that the Elite Four master has. They are also testing the trainer, like, hey, here is something unexpected. Oh, and how do you adapt to the unexpected? That's kind of the test of the Elite Four. At least that's what I would see. But, I don't know, maybe that's just me.
Each one of the Elite Four starts off in a certain team style, attack, or something similar. And as you progressively move on, they get stronger and stronger, starting in the mid-50s, going up to the higher 50s, then into the 60s, and finally into the high 50s and 60s. And, of course, you have the champion. Now, when the Elite Four addresses their calling all trainers, do you have what it takes to be a champion? Does one join the Elite Four by becoming a champion? Question mark. We can see that this isn't true because after Blue defeats the Elite Four and Red defeats the Elite Four, both of them decline joining the Elite Four. Perhaps they were not asked to join the Elite Four.
Okay, I think I see where you're going with that. Maybe it's more of an open invitation, but I mean also like out of all of them, I mean, there's no age given, but Agatha is definitely the oldest, and she even mentions like working alongside or with Professor Oak in some capacity. I don't remember exactly what, but essentially it's maybe it's more of a. Maybe it's more of an open invitation, like, hey, if a position opens, then it can be offered to you. Or maybe they just deny it. I mean, hell, it's, Koga, from one of the Kanto gyms, becomes one of the Elite Four. So maybe it's a pecking order type of thing, where it's just like, here's the Elite Four, and then, like, if any of the Elite Four leave or retire or something happens, they just are not there anymore, then the next, like, maybe it's more of an offer that's put out one at a time. Just, hey, gym leader over here, would you like to become one of the Elite Four? Koga says, yes, okay, this position's filled. Awesome. And hell, maybe it's kind of along the lines of that. And who knows, maybe the champions were given the offer, but well, Red would have denied because he's just now. I'm done dealing with the weaklings or something, or maybe he just wanted to isolate himself and like be a challenge, and then Blue wanted to stick close to home, close to Grandpa, and took over the Viridian City gym. Maybe something like that. I don't know.
Perhaps in order to join the Elite Four, there is more needed. Perhaps you have to be a gym leader first. For example, Koga is in the Elite Four several years after Red and Blue go through. Obviously, he was a gym leader and his daughter took over, as he graciously accepted the position of an Elite Four. Now, Koga wasn't the strongest gym leader. Controversially, he was one of the weaker ones. Besides the fact that he had a few high-level Pokemon, that didn't necessarily mean he was strong. He had poison types, which are very easily countered by psychic types.
Yeah, poison types definitely got the short end of the stick in first gen. And not just psychic, but, I mean, hell, there's ground and bug. Well, and maybe not in the first gen remakes. I know they fixed it in second gen where it's like, because it used to be that poison was super effective against bug, and bug is super effective against poison. But now neither are. It's just, they're just effective. But I mean, hell, like I was just saying, maybe it's like an offer put out. It's like, hey, would you want this position? No? Okay, move on to the next candidate. It's like there are only so many positions open, and they kind of need to be filled. Maybe not like an apprenticeship. I think did I mention that earlier? Yeah, like some kind of apprentice that essentially succeeds whoever's in that position. Kind of like with Koga and his daughter, but maybe it's just like, hey, here's the offer. Oh, maybe when they got around to Koga, they said, since you are a gym leader, we are going to offer you a position in the Elite Four. And he said, yes, let me go talk to my daughter so she can take over this gym. And they said, okay, yeah, awesome, we'll see you up at the Indigo Plateau, or wherever they end up in second gen. I certainly haven't gotten that far yet. Yeah, a long ways to go yet. I barely have 2 badges.
If anything, Sabrina should have been asked. Or what about Blaine? And what about Lieutenant Surge? Or Erica? Or a multitude of different gym leaders?
I don't know. Who did Koga replace in the Elite Four? Like, is Agatha still part of it? Because if she's not, I don't remember. I'm not going to look it up right now, but like, let's say Agatha left the Elite Four, then they specifically headhunted Koga because they wanted to fill a poison position in the Elite Four. Like, it's kind of I don't want to say structure, but I guess like more just like, hey, this is what we have, this is what we are testing the trainers for in these areas, so let's make sure that, one person has ice, one person has rock, one person has dragons, and one person has poison. Maybe something like that. I don't remember all the Elite Four from second gen because I looked it up once and then just kind of went, okay, there's my notes, move on to the next part of my notes, and then eventually start playing. Yeah, like I said, maybe there's a certain like a quota that they have to hit. It's like, hey, we have to have a certain kind of Pokemon in each Elite Four grouping, so why not go with someone who does this specialty, and then we can maintain the same quota that we've had. An interesting thought, at least.
So, to first challenge the Elite Four, you have to go through a respective region and collect 8 gym badges. Now notice, I didn't say the 8 gym badges. Depending on the style of what you're watching, what you're getting into, or the game, there could be multitudes of gyms. Just like with the Kanto Johto region, you can have 16 gym badges and still challenge the Elite Four. So it doesn't necessarily have to be limited to 8. But the minimum is 8. Generally speaking. You have to be a pretty well-rounded trainer. You have to know what you're doing. That's why you have to collect the gym badges. Otherwise, they wouldn't accept your challenge.
Yeah, that is true. And hell, the gyms are put in place. Like, like once you reach a certain point in Pokemon games, it's kind of an open world exploration. I mean, you do have to like get the badges in order to have your Pokemon not only be able to learn certain moves. Well, I guess they can always learn the moves, whatever. Like that's not a big issue. But to be able to use them outside of combat, it's more of like a like hey, maybe it's an activation type thing. Like, oh hey, if you have this badge, then then no one's going to stop you from your Pokemon using this move outside of combat, whether it be like cut, flash, strength, surf, fly. Yeah, those are the five. Yeah, the five HMs from first gen at least. And yeah, it's absolutely a skill test. It's just, are you like, in order to challenge the Elite Four, you have to be skilled enough to get the 8 gym leaders who have in some way at least been recognized by the Elite Four to be skilled trainers. It's just, hey, if you give out this badge to anyone that you test that defeats you, and then go ahead and then give them the badge. Once they have all 8, then they can come and challenge us. I mean, because after all, they would know that they are a very high-end challenge, and so they don't want anyone who isn't skilled enough to at least be able to defeat all the gym leaders to come after them.
So, maybe becoming an Elite Four is something of strength with a handicap, per se. It's obvious that a trainer could easily be a better trainer if they used a well-rounded arsenal. I'm fairly certain that a child says that several times in each Pokemon game early on in the game. It's better to have several types than one single type.
That is absolutely true, and that's all that at least I would see. That's why the Elite Four is a gauntlet instead of fight one and then you can retreat and heal. Fight one, retreat and heal. Like I mean, hell, on all the routes. Well, I don't think there's any route where you would actually be completely isolated and forced to go forward without being able to go back. But it's essentially like with all the trainers on all the routes, if you get hurt or you get in too much trouble, then you can most easily, fall back, go to a Pokemon Center and heal, and then go get back out there and keep going forward. But with the Elite Four, it's a gauntlet. If you only defeat 2, then you retreat to heal up. When you go back, you have to re-defeat those 2, and then keep going forward again. Yeah. And of course, you can always use, revives and heals and potions and waters, lemonade, soda, or whatever. You can definitely heal in between, but it's definitely best to... and how, like you said, it's best to have a variety, so that way the variety that the Elite Four has is much more easily dealt with.
So why do they use all the singular types? Well, maybe that's because they're the masters of that singular type. Again, I'm trying to stick to the game, but deferring to the manga series, it's stated that it takes several gym leaders, criminal organizations, and a couple of the protagonists just to take on one Elite Four. Now, that's refuted later on because, again, a couple people team up and defeat them. But that's how powerful their Pokemon are, supposedly, quote-unquote. So if the Elite Four are truly the Elite Four, why aren't their Pokemon level 100? Now that also is a good question.
Well, who knows? They could have, a much higher level Pokemon somewhere in reserve. I mean, I think it's the rival who only uses a full roster of 6 different Pokemon. As for all the Elite Four, they don't. So maybe they have one. In the case if they were ever to find out that Giovanni is actually running a criminal enterprise, not just running a gym, then maybe they could use those high-end Pokemon to go after him and stop him. But of course, Giovanni gets stopped by a 10-year-old with a Pikachu.
Let's say a trainer out there has 6 Pokemon that are level 100. Let's say he's a Psychic type trainer. He's got Alakazam, Gardevoir, Slowbro, Golduck, even though he's not a Psychic type, just to fit the Elite Four standard, and several other Psychic types. Let's just say that. Would he be permitted to join the Elite Four because the typing handicap? I'm not entirely sure how the typing handicap system works at all. Bruno has all fighting types except for 2 Onyxes. Agatha has all 3 ghost types and 2 poison types, and most of all the types there are just poison.
Okay, so maybe it's not just a typing handicap, it's also a level handicap. It's just, hey, if you're going to be named Pokemon Champion, you have to be able to defeat us and our Pokemon, so please do. Please do, and prove that you can be Pokemon Champion. Like I've been saying, it's a test, not like, oh, we have to defeat you. It's like, hey, if you can get past our pre-selected Pokemon, then you're good to go on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and then oh, hey, your rival's here, go defeat them. Okay, congratulations, you are the true Pokemon Champion. Yeah, and more than just like a handicap with their typing, it's also a handicap with the level, because it's just, oh, hey, the level is like, hey, we're not, it's not a full stop, do not go past here, like the one person guarding the Cerulean Cave is like, hey, if you want to challenge us, make sure you meet the requirements, and then go ahead and challenge us, and let's see how far you can get. It's as simple as that.
Of course, there's one flying and the ghost. And then, of course, Lance has a Gyarados, which is not a dragon, and an Aerodactyl, which is not a dragon. 2 Dragonairs and a Dragonite. Of course, after that, you do fight the champion, so let's not forget that also. So, it's really up in the air as to, how they select their typing. I couldn't tell you. I honestly couldn't tell you a lot of things.
Well, maybe it's not like... I kind of threw my own theory earlier that it's like they asked Koga, because Koga's a poison trainer, they needed a poison type to round out their Elite Four. Maybe it's more just, like I originally said, it's like, here's an offer to this person. You specialize in this type of Pokemon. Would you want to join the Elite Four as a test for any trainers who wish to challenge us? No? Okay, move on to the next, and move on to the next, and so on and so forth. Yeah, maybe it's not like, oh, you have to have this typing to be in the Elite Four. Maybe it's like, hey, you have to be like a master of a very specific type in order to test trainers that come to challenge us. And also make sure that you have a random one thrown in, because it's, like I said, it's not, hey, stop, do not pass. It's, hey, let me test you and test your reactions and your resolve before moving on.
One thing's for sure, being an Elite Four requires a great deal of training, discipline, and hard work. From what we know, the facts, Koga was once a gym leader and was invited to become an Elite Four several years later. This would indicate that you at least have to become a gym leader. How does one become a gym leader? Well, that's for another Pokemon theory. But for today, let's all collectively assume that within the games, to become an Elite Four, one has to first become a gym leader, and then from there can climb the corporate ladder of Pokemon Society. Oh, saying that with a straight face is very tough. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this theory, I appreciate your support. Please leave a comment in the section below. How do you think you would become an Elite Four? And furthermore, how do you think trainers become an Elite Four? It's fairly simple. Handicap yourself to one type, become extremely skilled, maybe even perfect with that type, overcoming many hardships. But in the end, the Elite Four are just what they are called. the 4 elite trainers of the area. So leave your comments in the description below. The comment section is probably a better place to leave them. But at any rate, guys, I'm ProtoMario and I'm signing out. And this has been a Pokemon Theory.
Okay, that is an interesting little thing. So I suppose, yeah, like maybe how I kind of suggested like a pecking order. It's just here's the Elite Four, then the Gym Leaders, and Gym Leaders can potentially become Elite Four. Maybe Pokemon, maybe the champions are somewhere in there, like. But like I said, maybe it was an offer made, but then person 1 says no, person 2 says no, person 3 says no, and who knows where Koga is in that lineup, and then finally they get around to Koga and just, hey, do you want to be a gym leader? Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, we'll see you at the Indigo Plateau. Yeah, as for becoming a gym leader, yeah, that'll be a... Because, kind of already talked about how Blue became a gym leader, and my kind of theory is, like, more than just, like, being Pokemon champion, even if only for a little bit, but also being the grandson of Professor Oak, he would definitely be able to, like Oak at least would be able to pull some strings and say, hey, let my grandson be the gym leader over here. And then, like, how gyms get established. Yeah, that's going to be a theory for another day. I don't know if you've done a theory on that, but hell, that would be an interesting theory to get into. I've already talked about, like, yeah, because maybe, like I said, maybe it's maybe each of the Elite Four needs to have a certain specialty. Because unlike going down the routes and encountering one trainer at a time with the potential to run all the way back to the Pokemon Center, then continue the journey. With the Elite Four, it's a gauntlet. Defeat 1, 2, 3, 4. In that order. And without running back to heal. Well, yes, you can definitely use items in between. It's a gauntlet. Just go forward and go. Okay, well, that's going to be it for this one. Definitely look forward to the Thoughtful Thursday I have coming up tomorrow. Well, tomorrow from when you're seeing this. I'm probably going to be sitting here for a while and recording and doing, and then editing. And, oh, dear God, I have so much editing to get through. Anyway, my own, well, procrastination and, yeah, whatever aside, I will hope to see you in the next video. Anyhow, it can be wherever. It's all good. So I will hope to see you in another one. Yeah, this was definitely a fun theory. I always like doing ProtoMario's theories because he definitely goes into details, and I can kind of make my own rebuttals and my own theories and so on and so forth. Anyway, I will catch you in the next video, wherever that might be. So don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't hit that bell so you can always be notified whenever I upload another video. Don't forget to follow me in my other social media, linked down in the description. And as always, have fun.